Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? This is Enrique. How's it going? Today we're gonna learn how to do a perspective grid. Perspective grids are good for like characters or backgrounds. You really just want to know how they stand in space and perspective. So you usually lay down a little grid underneath that doesn't come out in the final painting. Right now, I'm gonna show you two ways to do it. These are the two ways that I do it, at least. So first thing you do, you got a new blank canvas. You're gonna go to layers. You're gonna create a new layer right here. Press that one. It's gonna create a new layer just to work on, so we don't have to work on the background. I always like working on one layer above. Then we're gonna go over here to view. We're gonna show, and then grid. By the way, in case you don't notice, this is on Photoshop, but my version is Photoshop CS 6. So that's what I'm working on. I'm working on a PC on Windows 7, if that matters. But they're all pretty much the same. So right now I did a view and then show, and then I have the grid selected, so the grid shows. Now you have to go to Snap to, make sure grid has a check mark by it, and it does. So first thing I do is going to go to brush, select a brush, say brush. I'm going to select the brush, and then I'm going to go edit the brush. I want the brush just kind of, I don't want any variation in, I don't want any dynamic to it at all. I want a dead, straight, flat brush so I can just mess with. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push down right here. It's going to select the grid, and I'm going to hold shift down and drag across. I'm going to push down right now, and then I'm going to hold shift and then drag across. Shift is going to keep it from doing this, you know? So it actually keeps the line straight across when you do that. So when you push down on it, hold shift, you'll get your straight line. All right, so that's on a layer of its own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to edit, transform, and then I'm going to go to perspective. And right now I can mess with the perspective of the object as if it was it's an image, but in our case it's not. Several lines going to one point, and that's going to be good for us. Press enter, go up to the selection tool here, and I'm gonna move this around. And let's say I wanted to go to that point. I would make if I wanted it all around, or just I'm gonna go to layer. It's on a separate layer of its own, so I'm gonna right click, go to duplicate layer right here, duplicate layer, press OK, and now I got a different layer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go to edit again. Whenever you want to whenever you want to move or mess with a layer, go to edit. And if you want to mess with the whole image, you want to rotate the whole image, go to image. That's the entire thing. But edit will just kind of control that. It'll mess with that one layer. So I'm gonna go rotate, and if I rotate it, see the way it is right now, it allows me to. That means it's I'm able to mess with it right now. So see, the thing is, this access isn't really good for us. So I'm gonna undo that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this little access point, grab it, and move it right over here where we want it, right there. And so now when I rotate, it's going to rotate right on that access point. See? Press enter. That's a second layer, so I'm going to right click on that layer and merge down, so this becomes one. And I'm just going to keep doing that all around, and that's one way I make my perspective grid. Whatever vanishing point you can put on any one you want. So that's one way. Now I'm going to show you a second way that I learned recently and I really like. So you basically right here, you can still start with another layer. Always have a new layer on top of the background. It just it's better for if problems arise, you can always go back down to 0 whenever you want. So I'm going to select the pen tool right now. Pen tool. And I still have everything the way it is. The grid is on, and the grid is set to snap. So I am going to pick any point, like the vanishing point. Let's say that's my vanishing point. I'm going to draw a line out here. I'm going to go back here. And when I do that, it's going to kind of deselect it. And so I'm going to start another line by selecting it right there. Because I put snap to, it's going to snap right onto that point. So I don't have to worry about that, kind of aiming. It'll aim it for me. All right, I'm going to make a few here. All right, let's say one more way over here. Okay, now I'm going to go to the direct select tool, which for me is right below the pen tool, you see? Right below the pen tool. And I'm going to select just the point where they all come together. Those points. Oh, let me see that. I'm going to select those points right where they all come together. And now I can grab it and move it around. And I can control where, let's say I want to move my vanishing point up here or up here. Let's say way over here. You know, very useful. This is just the path, though. The line is not drawn yet. You know, this is just a path where you're going to put down your lines. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to go into the path tool over here, path panel. And I'm going to see the path that I'm working on, which is the only one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I am going to put stroke path. I like to do either pencil or brush, but I'm going to do brush right now because my brush settings are blue and I have it to a decent size. So I'm going to make it as if I brushed in all these lines, but I'm just going to do it in this quick way. It's like a shortcut. So press OK. And now that has drawn the lines for me. See? So I can actually move this layer around just like over there. Layers. It's on one layer right here. Press the other select tool. I can move this around now. Now, we still have those lines there, though, the path. So those are in the way. So you go back down to the path panel, the path tab, whatever, panel tab, whichever. And you're going to right-click on that. And you're going to delete the path to get it out of the way. And now all you're left with is the layer that you want, you know. And you can even go back here, go back to View, Show, and you can turn off that grid, get it out of the way. And now you have, you know, maybe you have a vanishing point with lines coming out of it that you can, you know, make a layer on its own. You know, if you want to change the name of it, perspective grid, enter. And you can choose to turn that off and turn that on during drawings, you know, to kind of, you know, as a good guideline to keep your perspective in order. So anyways, those were the 2 ways to do a perspective grid. And thanks a lot, guys. Subscribe to my channel and please comment. Thank you.